Today I'll show you how to create this stunning slider for your website, and if I click on these navigation buttons, images will slide along with the background. To make this, all you have to do is create these cards, go to my description, copy the CSS code and paste it into Elementor. Don't worry, it's super simple and we will do everything step by step so it's easier to follow. Okay, so to start with the design, go to your WordPress dashboard, head over to pages, add new page. Now click on edit with Elementor and from settings, change the page layout to Elementor canvas. Now let's add this container, then set the minimum height to 100 VH. I'll also set the content width to full width. On one side, we'll have the text elements and on the other side, we'll have the slider. For the indicator, add another container. Similarly, let's add one more container below it for other elements. As we need this side by side, go to the parent container and change the direction to row. We don't need so much space for the indicator, so reduce the width to somewhere around this. Next, for adding the elements, we'll use different containers for each, as this will make customization easier. Before we move on, we need to make sure that our site is fast, because adding customizations like these can slow down even a new website and drive away visitors. So I'll go to elif.net, sign up from here, enter my website URL and click continue. Elif will now optimize your site and it does everything that your site needs for a 90+ score, like caching, image optimization, lazy loading and everything else. That's why you don't need to use multiple plugins for performance anymore. Just Elif is enough. The visual regression will also help you detect if any changes happened on your site. And in the rare occurrence if you don't get a 90+ speed score, you can just ping the free support here and they'll take care of it. Now let's move on to the next step. Now I'll add some text, and to do that, add a container here and then add a heading. Let me quickly add the text and change the typography from style. I'll just duplicate this container, remove the heading and then add a text editor like this. Using the same steps, I'll add a button as well. I want this element centered, so select the parent container and justify the content to center. Next, for making the slider, we'll use the testimonial widget. In the widget section, search for it, drag and drop it into this container like this and then center it from here. Now I'll go here and add the images for the slider. Since these texts are not needed, I'll remove them. Also, let's change the slides per view to 5 as we have 5 images. Change the width and disable autoplay in additional options as we don't want this setting. Awesome! Now to make this slider work, we'll add some CSS code. Don't worry, it's not difficult and I'll leave the code in the description below so you can just copy and paste it. But before that, we have to give CSS classes so that we can target specific elements within the slider for styling. Select the parent container, go to advanced and add this CSS class. Similarly, select the testimonial carousel, go to advanced and add the same CSS class. Don't worry about these moving images, they'll be fixed in the final design. Now in the custom CSS, we'll use this code which you can get from the description below. If it's not working, don't worry, we can fix this by adding some JavaScript code also listed in the description below. So add the HTML widget here and paste the code. Next, go to style, add some space between them. Okay, let's publish the page from here and preview the changes we made so far. Looks fine to me. Next, we'll add the right and left buttons to view the cards. So let's place a container below the carousel and add a button widget like this. I don't want this, so instead, from the icon library, I'll go with this icon. Next, go to style and change the border radius to get rounded corners. Okay, now set the padding to create a circle. For the right side button, duplicate the button and change the icon from here. To make the buttons appear horizontally, select the parent container and change the direction to a row. Next, to make this button functional, go to advanced and add the CSS class as this. Similarly, name the other one like this. Let's update the page and check the buttons. And yeah, it works smoothly. Now let's see how we can add the elements for each of these sliders with some really cool effects. First, duplicate the heading 5 times like this. And similarly, duplicate the text editors too. To make this work, we'll use some CSS code to make it look seamless. So select the container for the headings, go to advanced and add the CSS class like this. Then under custom CSS, add this code and then in additional options, change the overflow to hidden. Let's update the page and preview changes. Looks good. Now I'll quickly do the same for the text editor and the buttons too. Okay, don't worry about these overlapping text. It doesn't affect the final output. Next, let's add an indicator on the left side. So select the container and increase its height from here. We'll also add custom CSS for this, and it's really simple to do. So go to advanced and add the CSS class like this, and then paste the CSS code here. It looks a bit odd. So let's go back to layout and justify content as space between. I'll also align the items to center from here. Let's update, preview it, looks good. Next, let's add a background image to complete the design. Select the main container, go to style, select slideshow and add the images. I don't want the images to be in a loop, so I'll disable it from here. Okay, to make the background and the slider visible so that they function properly, just go here and set the Z index to 1 and then add the custom CSS code here. Next, for the testimonial carousel, go to advanced and set the Z index to 2. Let's update the page. And yeah, looks fine to me. But wait, the text isn't visible and looks quite off. So let's go here to add some styling. I'll select the parent container of the widget, go to style and set the background color. Let's quickly change the color of the text like this. Now select the button, go to style, change the background color to white and change the text color to black. Then give some border radius for rounded corners and change the border type to none. Lastly, I'll add some hover effects from here and change the animation to this. Now let's see the changes, and looks good to me. Let me quickly add the same changes to other slides as well and do some minimal customization. Okay, if I view the page, looks good to me. Comment below if you have any questions and I'll help you out. In this 3-minute video, I'll show you a free plugin to triple your site speed. You're really gonna thank me for this, so click here and I'll see you there.